So the monkey may jump on my...
We're live.
We are live. It's Alicia Stringer here. I always empower success streams. You're here on the Millionaire Mindset Hangout. We have a special guest today, Brian Swan, and I want to share a little bit about who I am and why we are here. I'm out here in Nashville, and it's a beautiful day today. Everybody says cloudy days are ugly or something, but it feels like a fall day. Everybody's just really kind of relaxed in these kind of overcast days, and it's really cool, about in the 70s. So just walking around town, just you feel the vibe of just relaxedness, and everybody's living life, So I wanted to share that's kind of why I'm here. I'm a stay-at-home mom of a little beautiful girl too, and has just the passion to help everybody with their mindset, coming from to give them more empowering belief in themselves, to come from wherever they're at to be able to make a difference in people's lives. So I want to welcome our panel. We'll go over here to Valerie, and she'll share where she's from and everything.
Cool. Yeah. First, before I do that, I want to make sure everybody below. We're going to go. Just to let you know, we're going to go quickly across the panel, introduce ourselves, and we're going to step right in and bring in Brian. He's got it's exciting when he shows you where he's at. It's just gorgeous. He just showed us just before we went live. So everybody, first on the chat below, I want to make sure you can all hear us, you can all see us. Hey, say yeah, hey, something, so that we know that you are hearing us and seeing us. Let's go take a quick look down below. I'm going to look at the chat below. So just, if you're watching live, just give a quick yeah, hi, yeah, here. Let's see what's going on. I see Linda there. Patricia, you're watching. Pam. Okay, great. Yeah, just make sure you click below. We're going to be checking on the page below, so making sure everybody can hear us and see us live. All right, cool. All right, I am Valerie Jampolsky, and I am the Abundance Mom Freedompreneur from Abundance Now. I've got twin 5-year-old boys, and I give my usual naked kid alert because, as you guys know, they sometimes tend to kind of run out. They don't like keeping their clothes on when they're at home. So I've strategically placed myself so hopefully that doesn't happen. And I am here. I do this so that I can actually, live a life of freedom and be home with my kids and do what I want and travel and do all the things that I love to do with my kids on my schedule and my time, and really make a difference talking about things like what we talk about here in the Millionaire Mindset Hangout of abundance and law of attraction and all of that, and just having a powerful mindset to make a powerful changes in our lives. So I am going to pass it on now over to Keisha, because you are on and working.
All right, can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, hello. I'm so thankful that this week my camera is actually working. I'm super stoked to be here with the unstoppable surfer, Brian Swan. Guys, you want to stay tuned. You want to get your recorders. You want to get your pen and paper and anything you need to download what he will be sharing with you today, because like Valerie said, living a life of freedom, and whatever freedom means to you, is just magnificent. I'm here to tell you, because I'm a mom of 4, and I'm thankful that I'm able to do this and share what we know about how that you can make it happen, how you can live a life of freedom, and how we're doing that. And so, I have an MBA in accounting, but I made a decision in my life that I don't want to be pigeonholed to any one particular position. I want to live the life that I desire, the life that means the best, what's best for me and my family. So I'm excited and I'm ecstatic to be on this hangout with everyone here, and ecstatic to be sharing with you today. So I want to pass it on to Greta. Greta, are you here with us right now?
Greta, can you come on camera? We see your beautiful face, babe, but we don't see you. Greta was out a second ago. Greta, she's going to tell you when she comes on. She's got half a dozen kids. She's probably got something going on with the kids in the background. So Greta will briefly pop out and say hi when she can come. I'm sure there might be a little bit of kid havoc going on behind her right now. That's usually what happens when that pops up. Oh, there she is. There's Greta.
So did you, sorry, I was doing my hair. I was told that my hair was too messy for the hangout, so I went upstairs and did my hair and came back. How's it look? Does it look better?
Beautiful, you're beautiful.
Together. I got busy. I'm busy with like I think I heard Valerie mentioning that I have half a dozen kids and I homeschool all of them. And I was looking a little crazy. I used to call myself the crazy mompreneur. Well, I guess the cat's out of the bag because it does get a little crazy around here. I don't know if you guys are introducing yourselves. I'm super excited for this hangout, to have Brian on with us. The surfer unstoppable dad. I'm just like I just felt really relaxed, and I guess that's why my hair was a little crazy. And because you know what I love about the Unstoppable family and Brian and his wife is just the fact that they're just real. They're authentic. They share their passions. They, you know, they just live their life to the fullest, and it's so inspiring. And you know, I live near the beach myself. I'm about a block and a half away. We spend most of our days at the beach lately because the weather's been just awesome. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. And I'm not sure if Brian's already come out. I'm not sure if the ladies have shared. So I'm gonna let you guys go for it.
Hey. Okay, so quickly before we bring on Brian, I just want to give a shout out to some of the folks here watching. We have got people literally from all over the world. We've got Salvador and Toronto, and I know this is somebody's who's on from Germany. We've got somebody on from Germany. Yeah, Victoria's on from Germany. We've got Nick Policelli. We've got Joan Dizon. We've got so many people. Lucy, hi Lucy. We've got all kinds of people chiming in saying hi from all over the world. Lucy, she's also in Europe, all over the place. So welcome everybody. I am now going to bring out, whoop, Brian, you can see, look at this in the background. Oh my goodness, gorgeous. Where Brian lives, he's about to show us where he's at. There he is. Gorgeous. I'm going to bring you up now. Brian, incredible Brian Swan. And Ron was going to pop out. I know she's got family visiting, so probably not, but we are so excited to have you here. And wanted to start this, I'm going to lead it into, you can lead into everything that's, you know, your story, which you've got such a powerful story. To share with everybody, what would you say for you would be, like, what's the most powerful mindset shift that you had that led to your success? Because you guys, you're like 7-figure earners, and I know that you've had a powerful shift. If you could share with everybody, what was the most powerful shift that led, a mindset shift that led to your success, and how you got there? And I'm just beyond so excited to have you here.
Well, thank you guys all for having me join you. And if you saw any of the email that I put out to you, as long as the monkeys are holding the internet connection together, we'll be okay. And there is a monkey. If you've seen any on my Facebook picture, he's around here. He was actually just on my shoulder just about 10 minutes ago. So unfortunately, Rafiki the monkey is not here, and he is actually a very. But let me give you before I go into anything, let me just kind of show you where we're running a place just down the beach. But this is where we're hanging out now. Good idea. So not too bad. It's pretty cool. So we're coming at you from the Caribbean of Panama on a little island called Bastimentos, and we've been actually. Let me go into this. See, here's the trick part. I want to have the palm trees in the background, but I get pretty dark, so I'm gonna so I have my face lighted. You're not gonna get to see the palm trees. It's just one of those things that we can't do. But no, it's great to be here and great to share anytime that I can. And yeah, Rhonda, she's about 100, 200 meters just down the beach, and she's got her whole family with us this week. She's got 4 kids, so I forgot, what is it? Greta, you have 6 kids, is that right?
Yes.
And Rhonda's cousin, she actually has 4 children, and she homeschools them. She's in Florida, and so they're out visiting, so it's a very, very cool time. So now it's very cool. So we only have one daughter. She's 8 years old, and I tell you, it's she's actually not too much of a handful. So I really respect the moms in the family that have more than 2 kids because I don't know what it's about. But anyway, so let me share with you guys. So to go back on, are you guys hearing a lot of music in the background, or how am I sounding to you? Should I put a headset on?
You know, I can hear pretty good. What do you guys think?
Yeah, you sound pretty good. I see music ever so slightly. It's not disruptive at all.
And if you can tell, since I'm getting my face right in there with you, I'm like, it's probably in the high 80s. So what, about 30 some degrees or something here. So it is definitely warm. And I just had lunch, and this is the best hot sauce in the world. So I am on fire right now. So if and then when I start to talk, it's like, okay, now I'm talking, and it's gonna, I break out in a sweat a little bit more. But I'm gonna walk away here. I'm gonna go downstairs. Sorry, because this is lunchtime and stuff. So I don't want to bug too many people here. So all right, now I'm away from the honeymooners and stuff. But no, it's great to be sharing this with you guys today. And see, there's no internet around here besides on this little island. So we either got to be in this location or at our house. But our house is really, if you want to know what internet connection is, it's less than 1 megabit per second. So this is high speed internet at like about 3 per second. And so we're actually able to function here. And let me go back to the go back to the question that you originally asked, Valerie. What was the biggest mind shift? Well, let me share just a little bit of our story. If people don't know who we are, we've actually been traveling. My wife, Rhonda, who, if you know her, she's the unstoppable mama, and she's the one who got started in the online world 10 years ago, and it was really from a decision that she made of wanting to have a family. We didn't have any children at the time, but did not want to put our child in daycare. And our daughter, she just turned 8 years old, and we've been traveling actually around the world for 6.5 years while operating online. And one of the most powerful things what the shift was when my wife made a decision that she didn't want to just have her corporate job, because she was in the pharmaceutical industry. We were both making 6 figures. I was a robotics engineer, and working. We were both in San Diego, covering the western regions of the states and stuff. We both had company cars and all that stuff, all the so-called great USA or American lifestyle, dream lifestyle. But it was that decision that my wife made. What was the biggest shift? I'm going to start with her, and then I'll start with me too. Or then I'll go back to me, but it was that decision she made that no matter what, I'm going to be the primary influence in our child's life. I thought she was absolutely crazy. Like, how, what are you thinking? This is what we're supposed to do. You're supposed to put your child in daycare. And I thought it was ridiculous. But here's what I saw. And I think probably the biggest thing, it's called Millionaire Mindset, and mindset is what I'm gonna focus on here. Is that she, in order for things to change, she had to change with her mindset. And the first company that she got started with was a personal development company. And we really didn't know what personal development was. My wife probably read a few books here and there. Personally, I did not. So when she was getting started, I remember her seeing her journal and writing down. She actually, her first exercise was called Create Your Perfect Day, and we did a video. If you guys have not seen this video that myself and my business partner Goro created, you guys got to go through this exercise. It changed our life, and that's really where the mindset happened. Was I'm gonna expend it. I'm gonna go just a little bit further here with this question, because her vision at all. But it was when her mindset started changing, I started going, she's doing something powerful. I'm not sure exactly what it is. I was hearing like law of attraction, all this hokey pokey stuff. But I saw her start generating income online, and it shifted in me on what is actually possible. And then when she introduced me to this personal development program, and I started listening to books like from Deepak Chopra or Wayne Dyer, I was like, wow, there's a whole new world out there that I don't even know. And ever since then, I've been a big fan of personal development and reading, writing, journaling every single day, listening to audios. And that was probably the biggest thing. What was the biggest shift? Is just working on ourselves, and making that commitment. And what's really cool, that perfect day video that we created, I never was able to find my journal of my perfect day, and I thought I put it somewhere in storage. I can never find it. I just went back to my parents' place after we had an event in Nashville just about a month ago, and I found it in the attic, and I wrote out what my perfect day was. And now, not only I was living this dream lifestyle on the North Shore of Hawaii, now we're actually doing it while traveling the world. So it's pretty cool. I wish I actually was. If I was at the house, I'd show you what that journal entry was. So does that shed some light on the most powerful thing in the long version, I guess?
Yeah, no, that's and that's amazing, and I love that video that you do, the perfect day exercise. This is so powerful. And I just want to see right now, and just taking a look to see what the comments are. I always got people chiming out from all over the place. Also,
I had a quick question.
And if there's any questions from the people, I put out a broadcast email that if anybody wants to bring their questions, definitely put them into the comments below. So if somebody could make sure they take a look at that, and at the end we could definitely want to take questions from the people on the audience.
Yeah.
And creating that perfect day, does that always seem to change after maybe you've reached that perfect day, or that you're like, I've created a perfect day, now what's my next perfect day, or how did that shift? How has your shifts keep changing?
Yeah, that's a great question, because it's the way that I look at things is journey. This life is like a journey, right? We're always evolving. And so when we first start out, it was mainly just to get out of the rat race. And it wasn't like I didn't like, it wasn't like I was upset or anything about the corporate world. It was when I got to see my wife, she was able to do something that wasn't conventional, right? And I'm like, okay, what if, because let me share this, is that I'm a big time surfer, and my wife at the time was. And until she broke her back, so that's why she doesn't surf, and she almost drowned one time. So she's not a surfer like me anymore, but she is a surfer at heart, and we do the surfing lifestyle. But really was at the beginning was I love to go travel around the world, but we can only take 2 weeks of vacation per year, and if I want to go travel to all these places and actually live in them, it's not even possible, right? So my first thing was like, all right, I want to be able to break out, so I'm not working a corporate job, so I'm not subjected to 2 or 3 weeks of vacation per year. And so I did hit that goal. And then after that, it was like, okay, what was the next shift? Because you have to keep on reevaluating on where you want to be. My wife and I do this all the time. And so, for instance, our next perfect day, in which you guys are seeing and being part of as part of our tribe, is that creating what we call a freedompreneur movement. And it's so crazy that why I actually had my lunch late and I had to eat my hot sauce, which you notice that my head is not sweating as much. I'm telling you, I was burning up right when I came online with you guys. So I'm finally cooled down. It's all good. A little pattern interrupt there for you. But, here's what, where I was, I forgot what I was talking. Right before I had a meeting, and one of the things we're creating this freedompreneur movement, like a personal development product, and we were creating this 2.5 years ago. And if you're in Nashville or know some of our story, we had some things go haywire 2.5 years ago, and it led us to where we are now, which some of your biggest, if I can just throw a nugget out there, some of your biggest challenges. One of my first personal development speakers was at an event 10 years ago that my wife drugged me to, right? But he said that you're either in a shit storm right now, you're going through a shit storm, or you're about to go through one. And we've hit a couple big shit storms. But one of the things he also said was that the biggest success that people have, and this was funny because before we started our travels, we actually took our last trip around the world, and everything was great, real estate, etc. And so it was the same guy that we heard, and he had a book about the 50 of these top people that were very successful. And the thing they had in common was that their biggest challenges in life was actually their biggest assets. And I remember driving, Rhonda and I were, and this is before Hanalei was born, so it was like 9 years ago, and we're driving down Australia from like Brisbane down to Sydney, and we're in a motorhome, and we're listening to this because we're always feeding our head with good stuff, right? And he says the biggest problems are the biggest success. And I remember looking at Rhonda, and I turned to her and I said, well, maybe we're exceptions to the rule. And we laughed. Little did we know we were about to lose everything financially. About a year later, everything was already set in motion. So, so then what we did was we lost everything financially, a bad real estate development deal, but we turned that into one of our biggest assets, right? And just 2.5 years ago, we actually went through another one, not as large on money-wise, but devastating mentally wise and where we were going, and it was with this freedompreneur movement, right? Met up with some bad people again. They stole our money, sold our products, whatever. We probably didn't cross all the T's and dot all the I's, but once again, our vision is still coming forward, right? And I actually was on a call with a developer to actually being able to create our product that we were talking about on a personal development side. And I'm not going to share any more with that because it's in the at preliminary stages, but it's one of those things that when you have a vision so big, you gotta it may not come. A lot of the things don't come in the time frame that you believe they are, but when you're going through these shit storms per se, you got to look at them like, okay, if you can really look at something to where, and it's hard to look at something when you're going through the shit storm because it's no fun, but if you know that you can take that and have it as your biggest asset, it'll be one of your most powerful times, because I know there's a lot of people that are on this call right now that are probably going through shitstorms. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure a lot of you are. And a lot of people don't get started into something or make a drastic change until they go through a shitstorm. Because if you look at like what Anthony Robbins says, right? He says people are motivated by pain and pleasure, right? And then if the pain isn't great enough, they're never going to make a change to have the pleasure. Right? So we're motivated by that. So a lot of people that may be sitting on this call, they're going through some pain and like, I gotta make a change, right? So I know some people are going through it. So embrace it and realize that if you use it as one of your biggest assets, and that's actually another book that I'm going to share with you, one of my favorite books. But you got to use those challenges. And I also look at life that is everything happens for a reason. We probably just weren't ready, 2.5 years ago to be able to launch this movement that we're doing. And now we have, we've built a tribe, right, where people, we're having success already, but now it's taking it to that next level, really creating a development of not only for ourselves, like right here, a lot of us, like have an affiliate offer, right? And it's about making money, etc. I personally don't like to do we make this money, who cares? Now it's a bigger movement of what can we do to share it with the world, right? What can we do to be giving back and the places that we visit, etc.? What kind of effect that we can make on our kids' life, And so that's where I'm sharing. I just went on a rant, but it felt right, so hopefully. I just had to share that.
Powerful, Brian. I do want to share with you a question that we had from one of our audience listeners. Salvador wants to know, how many minutes and how many times a day do you dedicate to meditation and or visualizations?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. I really didn't get into meditation until probably about like 8 years ago, kind of around when Hanalei was born, and typically I'll spend at least minimum 30 minutes per day. A lot of times I like to break in the morning, and I'll do it at the evening before I go to bed, depending on what happens. But bare minimum 30 minutes. And one of the things that I use, and this is especially for people that are brand new, I mean, you can speak to so many different people on meditation, what it does for you. I've used when I started out with, it was called HoloSync, and it's essentially binaural beats. So there's apps all over. I think one of them's like relaxation melodies or something, and you can get different frequencies for the alpha and the beta and the theta waves, and depending on if you want to concentrate or if you want to be in a relaxed state, etc. But I play with it, and the apps now. Before I had to pay like $300 to get that HoloSync thing, and now there's free apps all online. I think if you go to like either Android or iPhone, you can type in relaxation melodies, and it's an awesome one. And then also, if you do like $3.99 or something, you can get like the deluxe version. So that's where I like to call it meditation on training wheels. So especially when you're getting started out, you don't see me just sitting and meditating, but yeah, at least half hour a day.
Awesome.
I love that. Which leads I want to jump up. I want to lead into your daily method of operation and what you do. I know you have of things that you do, and but before we go into that, I don't know if you want to, if you're comfortable to share. And I know you get into a little bit of this into the perfect day, but a little bit of the inspiration for what has moved you in a powerful way about your family, about an expiration date and having the awareness of your expiration date. If you know what I'm talking about, Brian.
Yeah, no, it's interesting that you asked that, and it was just 3 days ago that it was my father's passing of 25 years actually on Saturday, May 16th, and I didn't shoot a video this year. I've kind of shot a video every other year and stuff. I shot one 3 years ago. I posted it not too long ago, and it was really on the butterfly effect. And many of our videos that we have, I put what if you knew you had an expiration date? And what that story is my father, he passed away of AIDS when I was 15 years old. And he had the disease, it was way back in the day. I'm 40 years old now. So it was back in the time where nobody really knew what was going on. And he knew, though, it was a date. I just remember seeing him changed, where there was a change in him to where he just said, he said, screw it. We had a business, and he just said, I'm getting rid of it. I'm going to do some of the things. I'm going to go traveling the world. And he didn't know if it was going to be, another month for him, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. But what he did was, I have an older brother that's 4 years older, and so that's a whole nother story that you guys haven't heard that story yet, but it's a powerful one. He's been working with Rhonda and myself for the last almost 2 years now. He's been sober for the last 2.5 years. He actually hit very rock bottom 2.5 years ago, and now he's where I never really enjoyed the guy, or we never had a relationship. Now we're closer than ever, and he's part of my daughter's life, and that's a whole different other story. But it's a very cool one, so I will share that another time. But the expiration date was my father. He had my brother, and then we also had a sister, and he just decided to travel as much as he could, see if you've seen the movie The Bucket List, that's what my dad lived 25 years ago. But instead of doing it with another old guy that has terminal cancer, he did it with his 3 kids. So, and one other thing to share on that was that if he would have just been hit by a bus, he would have not have went traveling. But he knew he had an expiration date. And when he knew that he had an expiration date, he didn't know when it was. He's like, well, I better go do everything that I want to do right now, because you don't know if today may be your last. And I share this story with my daughter, and she knows everything about it. And it was 25 years ago was just 3 days ago was when he passed. So yeah.
And how would you say for you that you've internalized that and how it's affected you in what you do?
Yeah. Well, it was what happened, or what spawned from that is you got to also look at where I grew up. I grew up in a little small town of 2,000 people in Illinois. So I was 1,000 miles away from the nearest ocean. I used to detassel corn, walk bean fields, cut hog balls, do all the farm work and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I got to go see that there's, another world. He took us to Africa and to, Australia and to Asia and, South America. I didn't know there was a whole other world, right? So by the time that he did pass away, I went to university. I went to the University of Illinois, and it was my second year in school, and I went, you know what? There's got to be something different. What if I go study abroad for a year? All my friends thought I was absolutely crazy, missing out on, our golden years of being in college. And I'm like, you know what? I got to go explore and go do something for myself here. And it was 20 years ago. So yeah, I'm 40 now. So 20 years ago, when I went to Australia. I stepped off the plane. I went to the beach, and I remember seeing a guy catch a head-high barrel in a wave, when they ride the tube, right, surfing, and I saw a hot chick in a bikini. And it was from that moment in life where I made a decision right then and there that this is going to be my lifestyle. Now, I didn't know how to surf. I didn't know anything about the beach life or whatever, but it didn't matter. I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my life. And, it was from then, if I never did that and make the decision, I never would have came back. I never would have moved to San Diego, because if I didn't move to San Diego, I would have never met my wife. And I never met my wife, then I would have never had my daughter, Hanalei. And if we didn't have Hanalei, I got into this crazy online world, and then we would have not have lost everything, and then we would have not have went traveling around the world and blah, blah, blah. It's a butterfly effect from one thing. So the way I look at it, of this thing that happened that seemed like a tragic moment, right? Just like how I said earlier, it seems like it's a tragic moment in life, but it turns out to be your biggest asset. So I believe that my father was here to show us, that, like to create this freedompreneur movement, right? So it's like, oh, what a tragedy, but no, he was put here for a reason, and it's so be it. It was a short life and stuff, but he opened our eyes to a whole different world that we would, if we didn't do this, we wouldn't be sharing it with you and sharing it from this little island, but inspiring other people to do, to go live their dreams now. So that's the way I look at it. It's a butterfly effect that connects with everyone. So yeah.
I love that. I love that how you just that perspective shift of anything that happens, being able to see and look for the powerful good in it, to know even if you don't know what the heck it is in the moment, to keep moving forward. That's so powerful. So and before
Another question.
Oh, great.
Patricia Henry is asking, what is the biggest method that you use to attract people to your business besides showing your fabulous lifestyle?
Well, I gotta show my beautiful wife, and then once they show my beautiful wife, everybody gets started there.
We love you, Rhonda.
My brownie for tonight. Here's what I see, and we've, we're, you guys being connected with us, that we're just non-BS people with what we do. We're not about the hypey stuff, and for me, for instance, being in this online world and doing network marketing, there's like a bad connotation with it of like when people, like, let's say, think of Amway or something, right? But it's a way of how people do it. To me, it's like, and I'm not saying Amway or whatever, but I'm just saying network marketing in general. It's usually like but it's actually one of the most powerful things in the world, but it's actually on how it's delivered. And so for us, we are just, the way I see it, you got to be real, you got to be authentic, and we're not looking to attract everyone, but our message is different. We don't want to do things the same as what everybody else. What we're doing is we're being mavericks and want to share a different way of marketing, different lifestyle of how it can be done versus that it doesn't feel good to me. And that's probably the biggest difference, is just being real, being authentic. Don't be somebody else. And I think the best litmus test that you can get is if you're going to do any type of marketing, etc. If it doesn't feel right in your heart, right, you've got to ask your heart, does this feel right? And if your heart flutters, and I learned this from Deepak Chopra, is if your heart flutters, it's probably not the right decision, you know. And so you always go with your heart. Always go ask that. So it doesn't matter if it's something, if we're doing on marketing, or if it's an email I'm doing. If it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it. Does that help out?
I'm sure it does. That's an awesome answer. Just stick with your gut and your intuition.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's many different ways of doing things, and you know, a lot of times there's ways that you can, you know, look at things of like making money online, right? There's a short term and then there's a long term. I don't believe in just the short term stuff. I believe in building a tribe and being surrounded by people that I'm going to have a relationship with for a long time. Because in the grand scheme of things, you know, yeah, you can turn over and you can keep on marketing and just keep this vicious cycle, or otherwise, man, you can have this loyal, you know, tribe of you know, like freedompreneurs that, you know, they're by your side, will stick with you, and that's, to me, I don't see it any other way. It just doesn't make sense any other way. It's, you know, this is the way I see it, and you know, do we get results that are just lightning quick? No, because nothing's that's good is just going to be just quick. So I like to take our time and do it methodical, and do it, you know, once again with what the heart says, because heart's right.
I have a question for you, Brian. You mentioned that you guys are no nonsense, and it reminded me of when you guys were on the stage, and Rhonda said, or you had Rhonda do the push-ups, or Rhonda had you do the push-ups. Tell us a little bit about that, what that's about, because you, like you said, you're not attracting anyone. We know it's about accountability, but you're building this awesome team of people that, you know, there's things that need to be done, you know, in order to have success. But just share with me a little bit about that, the push-ups, and just, I wanted to know what was behind that.
Well, here's the thing. That wasn't actually our idea whatsoever, and I didn't know that no one else knew. It was actually from the teleprompter. So the guy that does the guy that does all the coordination of the entire event, he just said, "Do push-ups right now, Brian," and I'm like, all right. For some reason, I thought that everybody else knew, and then after I did them, he says, "Now Rhonda, do them." But she was in the middle of a conversation, or like she was going off on like a kind of little rant, and I'm like, this seems off. And then finally, when she was done, I'm like, honey, you're supposed to do some push-ups right now. And she looks at the teleprompter and she started doing them. So we did it and didn't even think anything about it. And it wasn't until after that people kept on asking us that question. I'm like, oh no, it wasn't us whatsoever.
I love it. I love you just went with it. I was like, yeah, what the heck? Okay, I'm just gonna go do some push-ups. Right?
No, it's a very odd thing. It was like, I'll do some push-ups.
I thought it was a cute word, and that you didn't hit something. You're like, all right, that's all right. Do those push-ups.
No. Yeah, there you know. You probably thought it was some magical thing, bomb thing that we do. No, it was just from the teleprompter guy.
Pattern interrupts.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love that. Well, I would love to know, and I'm sure a lot of folks here, they're waiting to take notes on this, is for you to share what, during the day, I mean, we know that you do your at least a half-hour meditation, but what are the things that you do every day, like a daily method of operation when it comes to mindset? And, you know, do you have like a set time? Are you more free-flowing with it? And what is it that you do? Because it's, we've heard, you know, I know from folks that be able to actually be able to be hanging out around you all the time where you're at, that you're pretty powerful in all of that and what you do.
Well, thank you. You know, here's what we don't have. I don't have a set pattern on it, but I listen to audiobooks nonstop, especially since we've been traveling around, you know, for 6.5 years, living out of basically one suitcase. We don't like to travel with books. So I think this is probably one of the best nuggets there are that if anyone takes away from, this will increase your productivity in life. So the way I revolve my personal development around is around lifestyle, to where I can do two things at once. Now I can't do two things at pretty much anything except for a few things. All right. My wife, she can, I don't know, she can multitask, etc. But for instance, like here, I'll go for a jog on the beach. So I can go for a jog on the beach for about 20 minutes down there through the jungle. And so I'll put my headset on and listen to audiobooks. And you know, when I'm around the house, a lot of people, if they've been around me around the house, stop by, etc. If I'm cooking a meal or doing stuff, you know, just not, you know, stuff where you don't have to think, I'll put an audiobook on. So I'll be, while I'm doing the mundane stuff, right, that you're going to do anyway, might as well be listening to something good. For instance, when I used to drive a car, we live on an island now that has no vehicles. My vehicle is a bicycle on the other island. But when I go riding out into the jungle, and when I go for a surf in the morning, it takes me like 25 minutes to go out for a ride into the jungle, and then I go surfing. And I'm not joking. I am riding out just in the jungle and stuff. But I put my headset on, and then I stash my iPhone when I go surfing. But I incorporate that while I'm doing something else. I love to listen to audiobooks. And then after that, like when I wake up, I'll do like a gratitude of the day and say what I'm, you know, thankful for, and write it down. But you know, those are some things. And then, you know, write out some goals, etc. But it usually is revolving around, you know, when I can also do something else, exercise, etc.
I love that. I love that, having that, keeping that, always having that energy around you of expansion and staying in. Well, I'm going to, you know, almost had a naked kid thing happen here. I'm strategizing around this. There's a pattern interrupt for you. But yeah, I love that you have that going all the time, and you know, pretty in the background. So Hangout's just like, Keisha, can you see if you've got other questions down there in the chat?
And then, like for instance, last night, when I went to bed, I woke up at like midnight. I was hearing some crazy noises. I don't know if it was monkeys or whatever. The waves crashing, but I thought something was downstairs. And I went downstairs, and I was up for like next hour. So, you know, when I'm going back to sleep, I put my headset on and listened to Deepak until I fell asleep. So, you know, one of the things is that even though I like to listen to it when I'm going to bed, because your subconscious mind never sleeps. So might as well be listening to some things while you're going to sleep, and then keep on learning while you're sleeping. Killing two birds with one stone once again.
True, very powerful. Thank you so much for coming out. It's always really challenging to see, you know, keeping that mindset strong and keeping it consistent to a way that no matter what those, you know, rough spots or places happen in your life. Of course, I don't cuss. Happens, whatever happens, you're consistent in that mindset, and it helps you push through that next level. And I think that's powerful for people to understand. If they've create this routine in their lives to do all the things that you suggest, then those decisions that you have to make along to make those powerful decisions to pull you out of it, it makes it easier, or helps you get through it a lot stronger. And I don't know.
Not sure if it's mine.
Oh,
I have a question.
Started cutting out. I wasn't sure. Internet or your internet there.
Mine's good. You were probably cutting out a little bit. I think you saw you frozen and everything. So. What was the question, Greta?
Just as far as the audiobooks that you listen to, if you could name, you know, or are there any in particular like that you know of that you could share with people watching that would be your top? That you listen to like the same audio all the time?
I wrote this out. Somebody asked me that about a couple weeks ago, and said, give me your top 3 books. I'm like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a top 3 books in 3 different categories. So personal development. I think one of the most powerful ones that I went through is actually Wayne Dyer's last book. What is his? It's his latest book, and it's a long one. It's like about 12 hours long. I'm trying to think of what it's his latest book, and it's really I've read probably about 20 of Wayne Dyer's books, and the cool thing about it is that this book actually talks about his whole life and what he was going through in his life while he was writing the book. So you get to see it from a different perspective, and I thought, oh man, that book is one of the most powerful ones. I think of the name of it, but it's his last book. It's so powerful. So that's like on a personal development thing. If you want to look at like a business style, I think one of the most powerful ones is the Robert Kiyosaki Donald Trump one. And it's not I Want You to Be Rich. Let me pull it up really quick. It's their second one, The Midas Touch, and that is just a powerful one. This is the book. If you want gangster style of going to go get it, 50 cents, The 50th Law. Now I'm not a big time rapper by any means, but that book is so powerful, and it really happened at the time when we were going through our challenge 2.5 years ago, to where it was going back to the hustle, and that's his thing when his story of using your biggest challenges, it's your biggest asset. So those are 3 books. If I could go on. I've read hundreds of books, but those are 3 powerful ones right off the top. And my first book I ever read was Deepak Chopra's 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, and I probably listened to it on audio maybe about 60 to 80 times, over the years. So there you go. I could keep on rattling off a ton of them, but those are just some good ones to start with.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Some comments and questions?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have Sonia. She's saying, is the book I Can See Clearly Now by Wayne Dyer, is that the one you're referencing?
Yep, that's the one. Yep.
Awesome. She also has a question. If you're overwhelmed or feeling the pressure, what is the first thing that you do?
Well, when you start getting that overwhelmness, and it's even when you're getting in the overwhelm, it's hard to do the walk away. That's something that you have to do. You just have to go do the walk away. I like to, this is the time to go out, go jogging, the time to go do personal development. So if I get overwhelmed, and like for instance yesterday, I was just like, my brain, I could stay on the computer, but I know that my productivity is just not going to be high at all. Yeah. So that was the time to why I had to stop and do some yoga. So did like a 30 to 45 minute session yoga, and then went out for a run and then a swim.
Awesome. I know we're here with you today, but I know one of the things that I do when I get really, really overwhelmed is I look at some things that I'm thankful for. Sometimes if it's my son who's overwhelming me, or just a situation, I stop and I start thinking about the things that I'm thankful for, and maybe even this whole situation that I'm thankful for it. And I know that calms me down, and it helps me to see it a different way, so that it changes, so I'm not so overwhelmed now. I'm just thankful that I'm even going through the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's many different ways, but I think the biggest thing is being able to identify it, and then realizing that you have to do something different at that time, because if you just keep on powering it through, it's not going to work, and then you're just spinning your wheels. So that's a great thing to do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that, and it's I guess it's so powerful that you have that you have those processes in place. You don't allow things to fall down into that rabbit hole. You go and there's my little ones here. Being able to walking away, taking that break, and then knowing, it's like that trusting, knowing that when you do that, you come back, that you'll be able to have a more grounded space, and be able to take action, whatever it is that you want to do. So I love Love that. You're an incredible role model. An incredible role model in what you do, Brian.
Why,
Speaking
thank
of
you.
that, Sonia also says this is exactly what she needed. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Brian. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sonia says this is exactly what she needed. She loves you, Brian. Patricia Henry says, just mentioning things that you said and that they really, really love it. Thank you for sharing it. Nick Policelli says, very inspiring, Brian. Thanks. So we have so many people that are very, very thankful that they are here. So Sonia shared that your life has purpose. Your story is important. Your dreams count. Your voice matters. You were born to make an impact, and your story is so very powerful. We thank you so much, Brian.
Yeah, thank you, thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah. So
glad to share. I'm also gonna have to plug in my computer because I'm down to 2%. So hang on.
Oh goodness, we're about to lose you here. Okay. Wow.
Hi, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh yes, this is Jordan. Say hi. He's Jordan. Say hi to everybody. Yeah. So while he's getting that set up. So if there's any this is the last chance, any questions live that anybody wants to ask live of Brian. Otherwise, after the fact, if you happen to be watching this on replay, please also ask your questions, and we'll get in there. We'll respond back, because we know folks are watching this different time zones around the world. The Down Under folks might be watching this later. Time and space have no meaning. You're all here together with us. Oh, love that. Now I got the palm trees in the background. Cool.
And the alternative is to get connected and join our community. If you click the button below, you will connect to the person that shared this with you, so that you can have access to everyone here, because we are family here, and it's a beautiful community. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Valerie.
Okay, yeah. Actually, Brian, if you have anything that you would love to share, thoughts at all about anybody as a last call to action before we go out, or anything else. And I'm just so excited that you were here, and maybe in the future we'll also have Rhonda coming out. I'm so thrilled that you've got the whole family there to be able to share and have that beautiful time together visiting.
No worries. No, I think probably the biggest thing that you can take away is, there's a lot of times where a lot of people maybe not seeing this for the first time, not even knowing what you do. But if you don't take the first step, I like this quote from the Book of the Tao from Lao Tzu: "Journey of 1,000 miles. It starts with the very first step." And so many people are not willing to take that first step, and it really comes down to the fear of failing, the fear of something bad happening, etc. But I think if there's anything, it's like if you're contemplating something, at least take the first steps, because if you never take the first step, you're just going to keep on doing the same thing over and over and over. And the way I look at life is that life is a journey, and it's all about experiences. So that's what creating your perfect day and challenging yourself, because a lot of times that when you get started on something, you don't know the answers. We like to say that you got to fly the plane you got to build the plane while you're flying it. So anyway, that's probably the best way I could end it. So if you're thinking about if you got invited here, there is a link here that you can get started. Actually, it's one of our online marketing systems, and that's where our hub is, and it's powerful. So one other thing, being the reluctant husband as I was when my wife got started, it's really, you got to follow people's visions. And if you are inspired by one of the ladies that are on here, or from somebody else, or even if I inspired you, is that if there's somewhere that you want to go, you got to be able to you got to follow. And if something connects with what I said or one of the ladies said, then go with your heart. If it feels right, awesome, do that. So that's about all I can say. Get started, and you can maybe be on one of these hangouts or traveling around the world with us somewhere.
Love it, love it, love it. So, and close out, and we'll see you. See you all next week. We'll have little Jordan here, and yeah, connect with us down below, and we'll see you all next week. And thank you so much, Brian, for being here with us today. Yeah,
enjoyed it.
We appreciate everyone out there that's interacted with us, shared your questions, your thoughts, and we hope to see you again online with us next week or on the inside, guys. So click that link.
All right.
See you all next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.